Good morning, guys, and welcome to iPunt Smart Quick Preview for Kenilworth Racing. Today we start off in the first, and it does look like Trumpy is the one to beat. He has had a lot of market support, so there's absolutely no value on him whatsoever. Um, so the value is probably with We Can Go All Night. That had a very decent debut over 1,000 meters. Now it takes on the extra 200, a good adjusted time, good speed rating, and he does have a few lengths to find on Trumpy, but he is at 16 to 1 from a one draw. Then next best is We're Jamming for me with Durmeyer on board. That is also got a little bit of hidden for me on the bat 84, and then probably Jay Rani as the next best. The way South African horse racing is going on at the moment, always look for some value in the stablemate of the favourite as well. So this ensuing could be anything on debut, with Vaughan Marshall having Trumpy in the race as the favourite. So I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. It does happen quite often nowadays. In the second race, we have again one of those phenomenons, with Candice Bass-Robertson being first and second rated, Body Electric and Philosophize, and with a 0 and a 3.83 lengths and then a 4 lengths gap to the unraced runners. I make them my first and second choices, with my third choice probably Epsom Girl, with some improvement expected here coming back from a race, and some intent with Richard Fourie, 30% win, 38% additional to place. So my fourth choice is probably Epsom Girl. Could be interesting because as you can see, this is 1200 meters and these horses has not done 1200 meters before. So Body Electric's done 1000. Philosophize actually improved from an 8.8 to a 3.8, or from 1000 to a 1.1. So that's something to consider. And I think if Candice wants to, Philosophize can beat Body Electric. So Body Electric, Philosophize, and Epsom Girl. And next is 10 for me. The 10 Star in Winter, also on debut, and got some big support, and is now trying the 100-meter extra with the one draw at Mela. Moving on to the third race. And a note here, and it's come true quite a few times, when Andrenal enters, he believes he can win. He doesn't run a race without competing. So I do think Chrome Yellow and Bayberry is my first two here, followed by Flower of Saigon with the best bat C by plenty, 15 lengths to be honest, Salvatore Mundi, and then Coupe the Main. Again, here we have a favourite in Bayberry with a stablemate in Salvatore Mundi, so that's why I also throw him in. In the fourth race, yeah, I again have this silver operator with Nexus, but I do think that Warrior and Seventh Gear and even Red Lark and Super Silvano has got their chances here. So I'm going to go with the stable coupling Nexus and Warrior as my first two. And the reason for that is the bomb rolls here. They take the bomb rolls, and Warrior take all the bats with the 1.29 lengths for Nexus next. He does take cheek pieces today, and he does get Gavin Lorena as the driver today, so that's something to consider. But as you can see, there's the top four here is very close together. So I do think Silver Operator Vaughan Marshall could be running on a double today. He does have some good horses. And then Fire Alley is another one where after Body Electric and Philosophize, Candice could be on the double here. So a little bit of a anything can happen feel for me here. I'm going to say 2, 1, 4, 8, 6 and 12. 2, 4, 1, 8, 6 and 12, and maybe throw in the 3 as well, as Fire Alley could be on the up with that coming back from a rest here. Redlark, interesting one. He has some bat C here, second on bat C, and he does have his third run rest, and we do have this enters, he believes he can win it, so at a very big price. Just wait for that price to go up to about 40 to 1 before you maybe take a top 4 on him. Moving on to the 5th race, and the green here is Rio Curari. But I had a little bit of a deeper look in there. They're both on their third run rest. And if I look at Rio Curari's form over further than 1,000, it does drop off. It does have the best line bat form here on the 1,000 meters, but when you go to a 1,100, it turns into a 364, and when you go into a 1,200 year, it's an 8.94, and a 1,200 year is a 10.88. But he did win unextended with Grant van Niekerk on board on that 10.88. So it's just something I noticed. So he's not my banker here for me. If I'm looking at Seeking the Stars here from his 1400 form on a 7.59 and very fast speed rating here above 100, to be honest, then I think Seeking the Stars is a little bit of value at that price, dropping in trip back down to a 1200, and Anton Marcus at 1 on him twice, well, make that 3 times in a row at 8 and 2 and even money. Seeking the Stars is definitely competition to Rio Curari. The other one I want to mention here is Perif as my third choice. Does have a 9.89 here, and Craig Zaki is retaining the ride. Don't know what went wrong the last time. Only running 6th, but we're going back over the further, and he does seem to prefer the further if I look at his stats on the further. Then an interesting, pleased to meet you here at the bottom. Corner Alpha takes the ride, and he's been improving slightly of recently, and I wouldn't be surprised if he's a little bit more competitive than the 16 to 1 suggests, with the best median speed. And then Trip of Fortune would be my next best, with the stablemate Doormeyer in the saddle and back. You can see Doormeyer won on him here. The last time he was on him over the 1400, so the distance is not a problem. He is dropping back to 1200, and that's back in the good going, so he could get more out of the adjusted time and speed rating in good going. So I'm going to think he should have some sort of a chance here as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and 8 I think is probably most of your trifecta quartet here. Moving on to the 6th race, and superlative when Justin Snaith said that this is his best horse in his stable, and only 3-year-old he will enter for the Met. So you have to take that seriously. I think Double Superlative is my top choice here. Looking at the bat here, he's not all that far off from Universal, but that is over the 2000 course and distance, does make him a very good prospect here, and I do think that he's good enough to win this. My next best would probably be the Ruffy Never Ending Rain. That does have very good 2.55 and the best bats here, and the best line bat horse as well, with Gavin Larena retaining the ride and blinkers fitted now. So Never Ending Rain must come into it. And then Waiting for Summer, also a blinker fitted on this one, and wasn't all that far off from the rest, so maybe the blinkers will make a heck of a difference. And Aldo Doormeyer is back. And then Pomp and Power. I think Pomp and Power is also a horse that's under the radar at the moment. That he is trying the further 2000, and he might just be up to it. Maybe also Sensor Unico I'll mention here. So I've put 1, 3, 7, 4, 2 and 5, but if you want to take a chance, then I think Double Superlative is probably a good option for a banker as on today's card. Race 7, and it gets a little bit interesting here after race 7. So race 7, I think it's a 2-horse race between Princess Color and Amansan Toti, with maybe Rain in Newmarket your biggest danger. If I look at these figures here, you can see there's quite a bit on the top 2, and then it tapers off to a bit of a gap. So you have a 1400 on Amansan Toti at a 1378. It didn't like the 1600 too much after that. Prince Color did the 16 and the 1800 in very good form, so he's probably the horse to beat here. And then Justin Snaith gets Grand van Niekerk back, and Grand van Niekerk does very well on Rain in Newmarket, so I will also think that he's probably the biggest roughie in this race, and major attraction maybe the place quartet option at the back. But I think Amansan Toti and Princess Color for the smaller pick 6 choices. Moving on to the last 2 races, and this is getting very interesting here at the end. The ratings does suggest that we could see some results here. So I'm going to start off with the 8. My first 2 choices is the top 2 here, Question Master and My Mia. Now both of them is going over the 1200 for the first time, but Question Master here, the adjusted time of 57.66 at Scottsville is really good. And that does tell me that he's probably going to like the extra 100 as well. The best adjusted time, speed rating, exotic ranking, medium speed, overall ranking, etc. So I think between Question Master and My Mia, both at very nice prices of 12 and F7, that is some good value to be had for maybe each one, both of them. Then a horse that could run into the top 4 here for me on his last run, Lucy the Pink, at 40-1. It doesn't look like a 40-1 horse, given that he's only 3 lengths behind now with his 2.5 kilo claim, and Jabu Jacobs has been doing very well of late, and he's got a 100% place record with Enion. So at that kind of price, top 4 doesn't look all that bad an option for me. Then given the chances of Glenn Cotson in the last race, I think certainly must be given another chance, even though he didn't do that well over the 100 further, and he now goes a further 200. He does get Keegan the Miller on board now with a decent jockey trainer combination, so I think certainly is another one to consider. So that's Question Master, My Mia, Lucy in the Pink certainly. And then the good old problem where we have Vaughan Marshall as the favourite, and we have Vaughan Marshall entering with Grand van Niekerk on Marvel William, the first timer. So I'm going to throw him into my jackpot as well, purely because we know the state of South African horse racing, and we see it all the time and no one does anything about it, but the data does speak. And then Shifting Path. Shifting Path, if he wants to, can win this race. I made a note here on him, very easy one, never asked, unextended on debut 900 meters, so he's probably the horse to beat here, but he does go 300 meters further, so that doesn't make him a good thing. And then there's Austin Kerr that gets Greg Shane for Justin Snaith, so that's another one of the first timers that I would consider. It could get ugly on this race, just purely because there's so many first timers and so many options for the trainers to take money from the public. Race 9, and a tough one at the end here as well. I'm going to go with Charity Ball and Masterful Guy as my first 2 choices, and again 2 good prices, 14-1 and 8-1. But Fairy Advantage is not far off from them, and I made a note here for this Mr. Madalana. Snaith's words, jockeys are replaceable. Simpiwe Madalana is not. He will win many more work riders races for me. And interesting to note that it's not Snaith that takes it, but Andre Nel that takes it, and Snaith has Farmer in the same race. So there's a bit of intent for me on Madalana and Fairy Advantage, so I think we should be throwing him in as well. And then the Tinkerman with Vaughan Marshall, that seems to have a good day. Third run rest, 66% win place combination, best speed rating. And he can win it as well. You can see these toppers all very close together. And then I'll throw in the curveball with Noble Grace, Justin Smith, and Farmer on this 2.2 hidden bat here. And yeah, perhaps throw in the favorite. If you don't want to go out with out the favorite in the last leg of a pick six, so maybe throw in the favorite as well. But 16, 3, 14, 15, and 4 is my main options in this. It also could be quite a tricky race with a lot of options for trainers here. That's it for me. 15 minutes, quick. Have a great day.